It's I literally could music time. Frick.
Did I mess you up that bad?
Yeah, I was gonna like do an impression of you first, and then like it turned into me actually messing up. So
Good.
that's pretty good. Nav dropped. Oh my god.
Oh, that's
Oh my
awesome.
god. Everybody assumed it was gonna be an album. It's just a song. So
Boo.
womp womp. It has
Drop the
Travis
album.
Scott and Lil Baby on it. I don't know when the album's coming. Hopefully
Probably
soon.
next week.
I hope so. I feel like he was dodging Beyonce. And
Man.
after he like took the stand not to, he's like, actually, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
He never said it was an album, but it was heavily implied that it was gonna be. But Never Sleep with Lil Baby and Travis Scott. Yeah, it's decent. I mean, nothing crazy. I think Lil Baby does the best by far. Which isn't a surprise. I feel like Lil Baby's got the best track record recently for features. So
Yeah.
he killed it. It's weird because like Lil Baby and Travis Scott have like these very well-known voices. And then Nav comes trotting in with like this heavily auto-tuned voice, and he sounds like he's like 14. So I just you have one of those picture in your mind moments where like Travis Scott and Lil Baby are like these fully grown like 6'1" people, and then Nav comes out and he's like a 5'3" teenager. I'm like, yeah, that's a cool dynamic.
Yeah.
So I it's pretty decent. The beat's kind of cool. It gets a little old, but like it's a fun song. I think Lil Baby just carries heavily, but
Well, of course.
I'm hoping Nav drops the full album soon. I think we have a track list and everything. Maybe not. I don't remember.
Is that true?
It might not have been for this Nav
Let me
album.
see what Nav has tweeted about.
Yeah.
Is Nav Josh? That's not Nav.
That's probably not Nav. I feel like Nav's well known enough to just have Nav on lock.
Is it Beats by Nav?
Beats by Nav?
That's his at.
Is it?
Apparently.
That's weird.
I don't. Well, let me see. I don't see anything about a track list.
Okay. Maybe it was something else I was looking at. I don't remember.
Oh, okay. So I can see why everyone thought this was going to be an album.
Yeah.
Because he said July 29th, and then his next tweet is, my new album will be called Demons Protected by Angels.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay.
So I'm thinking he dodged Beyonce.
Probably. Yeah.
Because, like, why not just announce the single first? But who knows? I don't want to tell the GOAT what to do. It's up to him. Like,
Yeah.
I shouldn't be, talking to him that way. But go stream Nav. He needs it. He's both overrated and underrated at the same time. So he's just the guy. So
I just don't understand how he stole the album cover from Joji.
yeah, he just like drew the eye from the crocodile on Joji and then slapped it on a black canvas.
Yeah.
But Nav can do stuff like that. I mean, it's an honor to even get your stuff like looked at by him. So
That's true. That's true.
you got to take what you can get. Cryalot, new song. This is Sarah Benito, for those who don't know. We got Touch the Sun. This one is a lot more, it's still got some hardcore elements, but like it's a lot more straightforward of like a hard style, like EDM track, which is pretty good. It's not as good as Hell Is Here. Hell Is Here was like a big whiplash that I love. This one feels a lot more, not like back in her lane, but still more adjacent to what she's done on things like Bonito Generation, where it's more like electronic heavy, but she doesn't do the scary voice, and I love the scary voice. She should keep doing the scary voice.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it still flows pretty well. It's kind of sick. It's just a lot more low key than Hell Is Here. It's not put on and be like, whoa, what is this? This is not what I expected from you. This is a lot more still. It's still got some hard style elements though. It still kind of knocks. So Touch the Sun, 4.5 minutes, pretty good. I enjoy it. I'm hoping that since there's 2 singles out already and we have another month before it comes out, that this is going to be like a 6 or a 7 song EP. I'm hoping it's a beefier one because I don't want like 2 out of the 4 songs out already. If that's the case, because I don't know, I want to take all I can get from this record, because I don't know when the next KKB album's going to come out, because I'm guessing they were doing a little bit of a break between this little solo thing she's doing and the next record. So
yeah, probably the
wanna get
same
the most
time
I can get.
GTA 6 comes out.
Yeah, bumping that new KKB with the new GTA.
That's right. It's going to be on the new Blonded Radio.
Oh, they're just going to give Sarah Benito her own station.
Yeah, the Bonito FM.
That'd be sick.
Heck
I
yeah.
like that.
But that's cool. Check that one out. I'll go to Julian Baker's B-sides because I talked about it last week and didn't listen to the other two songs. But Vanishing Point and Mental Math are the other two songs in this little B-side EP. They're both pretty good. It's weird because these are B-sides from Little Oblivions, but I think these tracks are like better than like half of a Little Oblivions. So I don't know what happened there. I guess she chose the wrong tracks to put out.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Some of the songs on there sound a little bit too generic and samey. But like the things that really hit on that record, but I feel like these could have been a good addition. But Vanishing Point's cool. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. A lot of these are kind of still in her wheelhouse, obviously. But Mental Math has like, I swear this is the same guitar part from Shoulda Known Better from Carrie and Lowell. It is so similar. It's strange. I immediately picked up on it. I'm like, oh, I've heard this before. But I don't know. The way she uses it is really great. Her voice, again, is still very, very good. That's all I really need from Julian Baker's song. And these flow pretty well. I like when she stays more of like the stripped back kind of sound instead of adding a whole bunch of other stuff. I think her first two records were all just her and the guitar, I'm pretty sure. Might have been a drum in there. I don't remember. It's been a while. But yeah, those are pretty decent. So if you're into some indie rock stuff that you need to get into, there you go. We will go to Beyonce next. Beyonce dropped Renaissance. This is Act 1 of whatever this is. I don't know.
It's a stage play.
I don't know when Act 2 is coming. I don't know if there's going to be 2 or 3 acts. Not sure. But with Act 1 here, this album is really good. Like, really good. I want to thank Drake for being incredibly mediocre at house and dance music, because I feel like this made this album so much better after having to endure whatever Drake put out. Because that record is so entirely lifeless. And then you get to something like this, and it's just so incredibly satisfying. It is a house and dance record. It goes through all different styles of that. You got like Afro beats and like super gay club music. Just all these different genres of these, like this area, and she kills it like on every song almost. It's great when the production is so top tier. This feels like Dawn FM in the way that like she got producers that know what they're doing in that respective genre, and they kill it, and then she just like kills it on the vocal performances and writing.
Yeah.
So it's literally a Dawn FM kind of thing that happened here. There's no narrative to it, obviously, but the way these songs do the same thing where they transition into each other, they do tempo changes into the next track, like the groove stays going. I was very surprised because like after hearing Break My Soul, I'm like, this is cool, but it doesn't have the punching power of something like Formation from Lemonade. But everybody's been saying this, but in the context of the record, it's so much better. It did the same thing that Take My Breath did on Dawn FM, where it's like, this is cool, but like I don't see the hype in it until you listen to the full thing and you get the whole transitions and everything to it, and you're like, oh, that's what the song's supposed to do. Same thing happened here. But yeah, this record is really, really great. It gets to like, she even has people like AG Cook on here that does more like hyper pop stuff. So there was some very like Sophie adjacent dance beats on the back half of the album that were really cool with some like harsh synths and stuff. She goes like straight like old school disco on a couple songs with some soul elements mixed in. I believe she had Sid from the Internet help on one of them. But yeah, I mean like the track listing from like Church Girl into Plastic Off the Sofa into Virgo's Groove is just amazing. I think Plastic Off the Sofa and Virgo's Groove as a 1-2 punch is like the best part of this album. Plastic Off the Sofa has like an amazing bass groove, and the melodies are fantastic, and then the way that it transitions into the next track is just insane. When it comes to Beyonce, I prefer this to Lemonade personally. That's probably a hot take. I think Lemonade's really, really great, but I feel like I don't go back to it as much because it is so much a art piece that is supposed to be like listened to all in one, and like there's a film to go along with it, and there's like so many different weird style switch ups on there that she does that are all really great. I think it's like a really great album, but it's not something I go back to because I don't really like when I go to Beyonce, I want to have fun, and this album is fun.
Okay.
It's so addicting. I was not expecting it. I put it on when I was working. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna check out this new Beyonce, and then it's just like a dance party for like an hour. It's really great. But yeah, it feels like a very refreshing, like, okay, I did Lemonade and I really wanted to like get this narrative of the whole like Jay-Z cheating thing mixed with all these other things that are going on, put them in one cohesive package, and then this record's like, I'm gonna embrace like a whole genre of music across multiple like generations, and just put it into a really fun record. So I'm assuming that with like Renaissance Act 1, I'm assuming she's gonna do a different musical style for Act 2, because I feel like she's gotten everything out of this genre now, because there's such a wide range on here. So I'm interested to see like what's gonna be Act 2. Are we gonna get a different genre switch up? I don't know, but like this R&B dance house switch up that this album did, I'm loving it. I know some people are kind of like, yeah, it's not her best, but like you're comparing it to Lemonade because that's the last big album she dropped, and that album is like one of the best of the decade.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this is just fun. I love this. Yeah.
Well, that's fun.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Drake. Drake wrote one of the songs on this record. Heated. It sounds like a Drake song when she performs it, but I feel like she does it so much better than he would have. If Heated was on Honestly Nevermind, it'd probably be the best song on there. I don't know why he gave it to her. That one had like the most Drake energy, like of like a classic Drake dance hit, and she used it. So
that is a little weird.
Mm-hmm. But if you have to listen to any songs off this record, Plastic Off the Sofa, Virgo's Groove, Alien Superstar, even Thick. Thick's really great. Actually, Pure and Honey. I'm changing that out. Pure and Honey. She goes full Prince on that track. It's crazy. But yeah, give this a listen. I was pleasantly surprised on how much I like this album. Just basing off of like how I listened to Lemonade, and I'm like, this is really great, but it's not something that's not like the lane I listen to music wise. Like it's not something I go back to a lot. This on the other hand is just like super easy though. So pleasantly surprised. One of my favorites this year. So check that one out. I guess we'll go to another one that's one of the best of the year that I literally haven't heard of until like very soon or very recently. Chat Pile is the group. They just released this album this week as well. This is God's Country. It's been getting pretty crazy reviews. I think Pitchfork gave it like an 8.4, which is very high for Pitchfork. Not like Pitchfork matters a lot, but it's always like, I don't know. But I mean, when you have a group that has like they got 68,000 monthly listeners, it's kind of like a thing where publications are like, oh, what? This is a group. But Chat Pile is a noise rock and sludge metal group.
Fun.
From Oklahoma, I believe. So this record is it's a sludge metal noise rock album. After I've been getting into Swans and stuff, I'm a lot more open to records like this because Swans does metal in a non-metal way. It has all the feelings of metal, but it doesn't sound like metal. And this record kind of like, it feels like a Zoomer kind of update to like System of a Down and other like metal groups. I think I hear elements of like they kind of act like the Black Midi type where it's like these are Zoomer kids that are incredibly talented, making really great music, and it's quirky and weird, but also like really technical and impressive. Something with Zoomer rap or Zoomer rock outfits is like hitting really hard right now. There's a ton of them just coming out of the woodwork, but this record is so heavy. It's 40 minutes. It goes by pretty quickly with 9 tracks, but there's vocals that you can understand. I think the first track's the only one where it's more like screamy. That's the one thing I like that steers me away from metal usually, is if it's screamo lyrics or like that weird like metal growly voice where you can't understand what they're saying. Because I don't really mess with that a lot. I'm a noob when it comes to metal for sure, but yeah, it's more like spoken word ish for the rest of the record, which is cool. So again, it's kind of like a Black Midi where it's like eccentric singer, kind of singing, kind of talking, that kind of post punk style. But the instrumentals here are incredibly heavy. The bass on this record's great. It's just like some dudes in Oklahoma who are like making an anti-capitalist, like noisy, heavy record and just having like a ton of fun with it and experimenting. Slaughterhouse is a really great intro. It's like all metal used to sound the same to me, which is weird because like it's a very diverse genre, but like it's one of those things where you never have a good gateway. I've like listened to Megadeth and Metallica and like, you know, the big ones, but really getting into it into stuff like this has never been like something that I've sat down and done, but I'm pleasantly surprised by this. I think Why was like the first one where I'm like, oh, okay, I understand what's happening now. He's actually saying words and I can understand them, and it makes the anger of the music actually elevate, which is what I want. I feel like with metal, I'm so disconnected from the singers because I can barely understand what they're saying, or they do it in this weird like growly voice that I don't like. But this one, he's like, why is there homeless people like living outside in this smoldering heat when there's like empty buildings that are like livable? That's like the whole point of the track. And just this heavy instrumental with it is fantastic. I think Wicked Puppet Dance is another one too, where like it gets Black Midi levels of just heavy and insane, which is always a good thing. I think I get that same feeling with that track, without like the weird quirkiness that Black Midi does with their stuff. It's just like, it's that dense, heavy stuff that you get on Schlagenheim. I really love that one. The final track on this is called Grimace Smoking Weed.jpg.
Okay.
It's about a drug addict that hallucinates Grimace from McDonald's smoking weed that convinces him to jump off a building.
Okay.
It is the wildest song I have heard in a while. But it's like terrifying. I'm like, what? Where did this come from? Every other like song on this record is titled something like how you'd expect a song to like be titled, and then the last song is just Grimace Smoking Weed.jpg. I love Zoomers. I gotta say that. This never used to happen.
No.
There's so many wild song titles now. But yeah, there's like one song where he's like talking about the song or like being a serial killer from Oklahoma City, which is like an actual serial killer, and he's telling like a story from his perspective of like robbing a bank and stuff. I don't know. This record is really fantastic. It's a very listenable like metal experience for someone who isn't very into metal at this moment. But like it's heavy, it's quick. There's enough variation there where you don't get bored. There's definitely some typical metal tropes in it, but like they work really well. But yeah, this is fantastic. Again, 2 records that came out this week that I was not expecting to like that much, but now they're both in the top 10 this year. So, yeah. So check out that one if you're interested in any of what I just said there. I think that's pretty much it. I didn't listen to a lot this week. It was all podcasts for me this week. So.
Oh, okay.
I've been.
Do you want to shout out? No, don't shout out any other podcasts because then they're going to stop listening to ours.
Oh, okay.
We are the important one.
Yeah. Dissect's doing a new show right now.
I saw that. The Good Kid, Mad City thing.
Yeah, they're doing a Kendrick like discography review, and they're going through every single album and picking like their favorite song from each, and then they're like having a Royal Rumble at the end to like pick the best Kendrick song of all time.
Okay.
So it's a lot more casual. Besides Cole just like dropping huge like musical theory Easter eggs in the middle of episodes.
Yeah.
They have our dynamic. It's two people that are like completely different musically, like music taste wise, and they just talk about it for like a long time and get into like weird little like what. Because Cole does like, I like all the long songs and like, oh, this song means this, and the other guy's just like, I like this song the best.
What do you think is the best one?
I could not tell you.
What about the best one on Good Kid?
Sing About Me or Mad City.
Okay, I completely agree with you.
Okay. I think they agreed on that episode.
What about T-Pap?
Mama. Final answer.
Oh.
Or Wesley's Theory.
Yeah, that one's tough.
Yeah.
I think I might do either I or Mortal Man.
See, the funny thing about T-Pap is there's no wrong answer. Unless you pick like the For Sale interlude, but the For Sale interlude is also one of my favorites.
I like the For Sale interlude.
Well, when you have an album, that's perfect. Like that's any answer is a good answer for that one.
I'll give my hot take about that record.
Okay.
I don't like Hood Politics or The Black or the Berry.
Oh,
that's my hot take.
Interesting. I feel like Hood Politics is the most forgettable.
I love the opening.
Yeah, with the phone call.
Yeah, that groove is awesome.
Yeah,
but I'm not the biggest fan.
I don't know. I still love those songs, but I feel like Hood Politics like gets lost. Black or the Berry is amazing. I wouldn't pick it as my favorite though. But
no, it's too loud.
Damn's interesting because I feel like what would be my favorite from Damn? I don't know. I think Triple X or Fear probably.
I was gonna say Triple X or Element.
Yeah, that's.
But I also really like Duckworth.
Duckworth and DNA are also great.
Yeah.
Damn's different because like I was listening to it when it first came out and it was all over the radio. So like everybody, that was like the last or one of the last hip hop releases where everybody like tuned in so incredibly much, where like you could go outside and hear it, and like everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
I feel like most songs on this record too could be like acceptable, except God. If you pick God as your favorite song, then you're not my friend.
I do like God.
Yeah, it's just
Is that against the rules?
I don't like it, but like as long as it's not your favorite song off the record, I think we're chill.
No, it's not my.
Because I feel like Love transitions into Mr. Morale where he does it better.
I like Love too. I don't know. Is there even a song on here I don't like? I don't remember what Pride is like, so that's probably my least
Pride's
favorite.
great.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't remember that one. I haven't listened to Damn in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Morale, I feel like I don't know what my favorite of Mr. Morale is. It might be kind of basic, but I love N95.
I love N95 too. I like that one. I also really like Count Me Out.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Count Me Out's great.
Father Time's great too.
Yeah, that one's good. I like Die Hard. I know you don't like Die Hard.
No, I love Die Hard.
Oh, what was the one that... Oh, you don't like Purple Hearts.
Yeah, I feel like Die Hard's just better Purple Hearts.
Yes, I love Die Hard. But, okay.
Boom.
Okay, well, we just did our podcast.
Yeah, we just did your whole show. Cole Cushner and other man who I forgot.
I forgot. So you said... Well, we did 2 for each.
Yeah. So they have to narrow it all down to 1, and then they have to debate out what the best song is from those. Like, I think it's in a bracket style.
Oh.
That's where it would get incredibly difficult.
I think his best might be Sing About Me.
I agree, but is it my favorite? That's the thing.
I don't know.
It's like, how do you gauge that? But I do think Sing About Me is his best. So
yeah, I would say
we just did your show, Cole Kushner.
Hey, Cole, get us on. It wouldn't take a bunch of episodes. We just did it in 10 minutes.
Yeah. You don't even need to. You could just go straight to Igor, Cole. You don't need to. I shouldn't be leaking that. It's Igor. It's going to be Igor.
What do you mean leaking it? Do you have like an inside source?
No. No, he just put a hint at the last, like, he always does a hint at, like, the last episode of the last season. And it's Igor. So
You don't know that.
it's like 99% sure. The same with, like, when he did swimming. Like, people picked up on it incredibly quick.
I'm willing to bet on that.
They put a hint on it, and then the hint's kind of obvious because there's, like, internet nerds that dig into it immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is fine. But so check that out. That's interesting. I'm listening to No Skips, which is the podcast of a couple guys that do music writing and stuff. They just discuss like classic hip hop albums, and they do like different categories, like best track or like what's the best lyric or what didn't age well or something. So they go through that, and it's a very casual thing. So that one's pretty sick.
Do they only talk about perfect records?
More or less, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they have like Mad Villainy and Dark Twisted Fantasy, Doggy Style, Black on Both Sides, like that kind of stuff.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, so that one's cool. What else have I been listening to? Oh, Mogul's another one it's the same guy from No Skips. This is like his main podcast. They do like hip hop stories technically. So season 3 is on DJ Screw. So it goes through the entire Houston scene and like the whole Chopped and Screwed history, which is really interesting because I didn't. DJ Screw's one where like if you weren't around when he was doing his thing, it gets lost because on streaming he's not huge, and even though like there's influence everywhere, like any Travis Scott song is just incredibly influenced. Where it's like he would slow the beat down. He'd be the first person to do that kind of sound. And like pitching vocals down like A$AP Rocky does all the time. So that season was really cool. And there was a part in it where like a lot of people don't know George Floyd was a rapper. George Floyd was with DJ Screw at this point. So you could hear like the song where George Floyd was on.
Oh, I didn't know that he was
it's
like
crazy.
really. I didn't know how into the scene he was. I knew that
He
did
wasn't
make
very
music.
the way they recorded is that everybody went in a room and DJ Screw would just like do a beat and they'd pass the mic around to anybody in the room.
Oh, okay.
So he rapped on that song, but he was like a football and basketball player in college. So he kind of just came back and did this, but he didn't want to like pursue it big time. Although he could have. So it was like a really interesting episode where it's like, oh, that's a deep dive I was not expecting to hear about.